So guys, the almighty DS comes in for Osterbuch to play alongside Cams and, of course, Eldridge O'Neill. Thoughts on that? Does that strengthen them, weaken them, about the same? What are we getting?
First thing you have to say about Osterbuch as a player is he is Manchester United's leading goal scorer in the eFootball.Pro. He scored 3 goals as opposed to the rest of the team who've only scored 1. So, yes, it's a strange one, but when you look at his replacement, the almighty is the 2008, 2011 and 2012 Dutch champion. So he's no slouch to high-level competition himself. So it's quite a good replacement to have if you need it.
And obviously having that Dutch, heritage, he's played alongside Eldridge, of course. So they probably know each other's games inside out, Wes.
Yeah, and the amount of practice that United have probably put into their off-season, you'd imagine they're all quite comfortable with one another now. We're into, what, 3rd match day plus a bit of time in the off-season. You've got a lot of, you've had a lot of time to look at this. I think it'll be interesting to see or listen to the team speak in relation to these players, because I think there'll be a lot of words and tactics going along. I think looking at United, at their front 3, Mellor, Greenwood and Rashford, I saw a lot of them playing with them upstairs in the practice room, and they seem to be quite potent with them, and it'll be interesting to see how Celtic really approaches it. It looks like Celtic have gone with a 5-4-1, so again, interesting to see them try and nullify a 3 up front with a 5 at the back, whether that's a late choice or not.
We can't also play this down, how important it is for Celtic to get these points, and I said Manchester United might be looking as the more hungry of these two teams. Celtic right now, after 2 match days and a potential 12 points, have just 1. So if you're sitting at the bottom of the table, that's where no one wants to be. Obviously someone has to be there, but if you just have the 1 point, only 2 goals scored, you have to turn that form around sharpish if you want to be making it to the playoffs and into the finals.
Yeah, we said last game week was a crucial one for Celtic, and they weren't able to take anything from the day. Which is concerning, but we talked off airways that something that was possibly more concerning was the fact that they didn't, in the post-match interview, have any real answers for where they felt it went wrong.
Yeah, and that was slightly confusing for me, because I mean, when you looked at the previous match day when they're playing against Nantes, and you looked at the way they conceded 93rd minute equaliser, that kind of shock really went into that second game, and they never got off to the races. It's going to be a case now of, do United turn up and have a really good day and it becomes even worse for Celtic, or do Celtic finally break out from this kind of slumber that they're in at the moment and they come to the party?
All will be decided in the next few minutes, because we are very close to kick off here. Predictions, guys?
Yeah, I hate when you put me on the spot.
Did we work out what happened in the last game in terms of predictions? I'm not sure. We'll find out.
No one was right. I was closest, but
so
no.
It will be Manchester United kicking from left to right in the home red and white and black strip, and Celtic in the famous green and white hoops, kicking from right to left. Also, of course, they are home strip. 3 minutes gone, and it's all Manchester United early dominance, but not territorially. It's across the middle. Now they get the chance to go into the attacking third. It's in towards Paul Pogba, and it's cleared away by that man, Dimani Mellor.
Early signs for me that I'm going to be looking out for here from Manchester United. How are they lining up and how are they adapting to using a new player when you consider, well, I mean, you assume that most of their preparation would have been with the first team members that they've fielded in the first 2 match days. So the almighty is going to have big shoes to fill. As we said, Osterbuch, leading goal scorer for the club, not featured here against Celtic FC.
An interesting challenge coming in there. It was given as a free kick. It looked, to me anyway, slight graze of the ball, but the referee has given a free kick, and it's going to be, by the looks of things, Greenwood who's going to step up. He's also got Pogba to his right-hand side, both decent strikers of the ball, as is Rashford, who's further forwards on the left-hand side. It's in towards Mellor again, and now a chance for Forest to counter for Celtic. First real chance for them to grace the attacking third. Johnston fires forwards towards Forest again, and Marcus Rojo with the interception now finds Greenwood. Greenwood pops it off to Marcus Rashford. Good possession here early doors for Manchester United, Harry.
Yeah, maybe that's something they expected to work on, maybe thinking that possession against Celtic might be key, and maybe that's an area that they...
In towards Mellor, Greenwood, first chance, smart stop.
Coming back to my point, might be an area they weren't as strong with Osterbuch in the lineup. So we'll have to get confirmation. I'll ask in the interview, you know, whether or not it was strategic or whether he was forced out with maybe illness. I know there's quite a bad bug flying around at the moment, so maybe
you should have stayed at home, Harry, if you're going to start bringing those into the studio.
Sorry about that. That was my fault.
Paul Pogba to take it down on the far touchline, in towards Nemanja Matic, headed away. Another chance comes and goes in towards Damani Mella. Right foot shot blocked, and it's going to be another corner. And Wes, they can't quite get out at the moment, Celtic.
Well, we saw it in previous match days for Celtic. You put them under enough pressure early doors, and there's cracks there to be exploited. And I think the way that United are setting up and the way that they're playing, they've got enough pressure on it. It just needs a goal.
We talk about pressure. You feel that Celtic are on a knife edge, because if they were to concede, it would just... The implosion potential is incredible, isn't it, Harry?
Yeah, it is, and that's why it is so important to try and keep it as close as possible and hopefully score first if you are Celtic. I mean, that being said, against Nantes last match day, they did score first but conceded late.
Damani Mella skips a challenge, referee brings it back, but he plays it into Greenwood early free kick, almost caught Celtic off guard, and the goalkeeper now has made 2 huge saves for Celtic.
It's Celtic mistakes that are leading to these chances, though. It's a pointless backheel in the middle of the park, which it just allows that front three to become alive. It's careless.
It is indeed, as we have another set piece for Manchester United, who are looking to turn the screw. It's Paul Pogba, the French international, fired in towards the near post. Chance for Bayo to clear his lines, and Celtic deep in their own half. Now they have a great switch out towards that right-hand side with El Hamed. Now Julian, a bit of a breather here for Celtic, and a possible chance to pick it off towards the right-hand side. But everything, Harry, seems a bit slow at the moment from Celtic.
Yeah, a little bit lethargic, and I wonder whether or not they still haven't found their rhythm with this new lineup for this season. I mean, Horcha is a great addition in my mind, certainly a great 1-versus-1 player, but slotting into the dynamic between the two brothers, Indajawa and Dominator, so far you can see in the goals and assists, compared to a club at the top like AS Monaco, nowhere near, just 1 goal and assist.
We say all that, but it is still 0-0, and shouts for a penalty there, waved away by not only the referee but the 4th official as well, having absolutely nothing to do with that. But it looked a tight call as Roderick has the chance to play it in towards the danger area. Now it's in towards him again. It's in towards... Oh, he's almost put it in, but I lost my words because it was just ricocheting around, and it was hard to pinpoint what was about to happen. But that is a real chance for Celtic, Harry.
Yeah, good signs, though. Signs of promise that will build the confidence and maybe steady the nerves. We are, again, talking about the team at the foot of the table, so any little confidence boost you can get, like that one from Horcha. Great defensive work, as he has been in the first 2 match days. That will, again, steady the ship and really start to build the confidence, and maybe they can use it as a launch pad to maybe spring an attack.
El Hamed. It's a really poor pass towards Forrest, but he finally manages to scramble back possession. It's in towards Bayo. Good challenge from Harry Maguire, and it goes behind for a Celtic corner. It's been a better response, though, hasn't it, from Celtic?
Yeah, I mean, looking at them, they seem to have found their feet in this game. They absorbed early pressure, and now they're giving it back the other way. It's going to be interesting to see who scores first.
Like.
Yeah, it's very un-Celtic-like.
It's flicked on, and we have the first goal of the game, and it's Celtic who have got it. And straight away, Dominator turns to both players and says, calm down. This job is no way near done. But that is the perfect response to those nervy 20 minutes, Wes.
Well, no sooner did we say they're applying pressure and they're getting chances. Now, all of a sudden, the dynamic of the game is totally different. But I will venture to say this, though. We've seen Celtic in this scenario before. They went 1-0 up against Nantes. Now it's a case of what are you going to do to either protect that lead or increase it?
Defensively, Harry, that was pretty poor, wasn't it?
It was, but it's the man who was defensively solid for Celtic to score it. It's Horcha, the Spaniard, flanked by the 2 Dutch players, to score his 2nd goal of the eFootball.Pro season. And what a critical one it could be for Celtic's chances of turning their fortunes around and trying to propel themselves up the table.
So we talked about the addition of Yorka for Celtic, but key pre-game news of the change between Osterbuch and the mighty DS, and it's not paid off so far for Manchester United, because Celtic come again here.
They smell
Johnston,
blood.
they did indeed, as Nemanja Matic hooks it clear. Only 5 minutes plus stoppage time remaining in this first half. One that's started very well for Manchester United, but it's gone the other way in the second half. Another chance snuffed out there, and Marcus Rashford plays it forward towards Damani Mella. Now Rashford again, in towards him again, and hacked away. And just hanging on here, Celtic.
They are for now, but one thing I've noticed with this change of Ostrovic being swapped out for the almighty DS is the communication so much more on point. We can hear it at a low level around the stadium, and the communication is, there's so much more talking, there's so much more communication about where they're going.
Is that down to confusion, do you think?
It could be.
Not knowing your roles?
Could be. Maybe they're just favouring the almighty's teamwork aspect. Yes, Ostrovic was firing in the goals, but maybe United making the executive decision they need to be a bit more on the same page in this match against Celtic. So far, hasn't worked. Yeah,
it's finished here at the end of the first half. Manchester United 0, Celtic 1. The change to take out Ostrovic pre-game has not been a welcome one so far, because they are missing their main goal-scoring threat for sure, Wes.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a kind of a psychological blow to it. I mean, as we mentioned, United DS is by no means a bad player at all to bring in, but like you said, the dynamic is slightly different. There's more communication. Is that a case that they're, like you said, they're unsteady in their roles? You know.
Well, if you've been training for months on end for, it's not to say a first team, but it's certainly a team that they've gone with throughout the tournament so far, it must be a little bit difficult to then go and change that, you know, so late in the day.
Yeah, and it could easily work the other way. You know, we could be sat here talking about the almighty DS has scored a hat-trick and it doesn't become a talking point.
And he still might. Let's be honest, we've still got a lot of eFootball PES to play. So Pogba picks it off towards Nemanja Matic. There just seems to be a slight. We were talking about how slow Celtic were in the start of the first half, but now it's Manchester United, Harry, that look a bit lethargic.
Yeah, and Celtic, when they attack on the counter, as United turn the ball over, certainly like playing, again, direct, a bit like Monaco do. But realistically, it's about what Celtic can do now to, again, I used the phrase steady the ship, but really make sure you don't ship the next goal and really just throw the baby out with the bathwater. You have the lead right now. Let's, you know, not make any silly mistakes.
El Yunusi tries to play the ball, and as you said, Harry, that was a mistake. And it's a difficult one for Celtic to approach this remaining half an hour or so, because remember, they've been here before. They were 1-0 up in Matchday 2 in the first game, into the 93rd minute when they conceded the equaliser, and then went on to lose the second game. And we don't want to see that again if you're a Celtic fan, for sure, as the ball gets played in towards Greenwood, but hacked away. Now Paul Pogba maintains the attack. McTominay challenged. Oh, referee's pointed to the spot, has he? Which way's it gone?
I think it's the other way.
Has it gone the other way? Real drama there. There were fans all over the stadium, didn't know which way the referee had given it.
I mean,
hearts in your mouth moment there.
Even Indajawa was in the player camp questioning what the referee was doing there, but
it's a 50-50 that.
It is. We had no idea which way it was going, but maybe we'll take a little listen now. No, we're ready to get back into the game, but we'd love to hear what the communication and how the chemistry is between the United players. Again, we keep talking about it. Ostrovic, leading goal scorer, subbed out for this game. It's a big talking point, and if United don't come out with a result, it's a question that's going to have to be asked after the game as to why that was. Maybe forced into it because of illness. We still don't know at this point.
Something we can ask in the mix zone for sure. The burning questions. And if you have any questions at home, remember, jot them down on Twitter, etc. and tag in official PES, of course. We'd love to hear your thoughts all the way through this match day and on from here as well, as it's hacked away there. Looked like bitten down there, and Johnson can't keep it in play. 66 minutes gone, still just a one goal.
Yeah, there's been a couple of passages of play that captain and dominator, the birthday boy, has cut out here for Celtic. They're going to need more of that throughout these two games.
Paul Pogba, challenged by Christie, now towards Forrest. Support from Edouard through the middle. Lovely first touch. Can he find the pass? Yes, he can. It's on here. If Forrest can stay onside, the flag stays down. Good tracking, though, from Marcus Rojo. Great defending there in the end, but it is a throw, and it's down the right end of the pitch because Celtic can really press here. They might get a bit of joy. Can they get a second, Wes?
Yeah, I mean, it's within the realms of possibility. It's whether they want to go and push it that far.
They will be nervous, won't they, after what happened last week?
After what happened last match day, you would be hesitant to try anything different or to try anything out of the ordinary. But as we saw from match day 2, it takes one chance, and United are, you would say, are more potent than not.
The different, but you say that, but the difference is FC Nantes were really starting to press, and we kind of feel this game is starting to stagnate a little bit. We're not seeing enough forward impetus from Manchester United. Am I wrong in that, or is that how you're seeing it as well?
No, I think you're right. I mean, sorry to cut you off, Wes, but certainly they're just waiting for that clear-cut opportunity.
Which they might get here through Jesse Lingard's shot comes in, blocked and up and over the top. Curse of the commentator, just when I said nothing was happening from an attacking sense, they go and create probably their best chance of the second half. But really, from looking at it from here, hindsight's a great thing, but possibly a shot from Martial might have been a better option from that midfield area.
I mean, you've got options all around the pitch at the moment. I think there you could probably have taken the shot and took a bit of a risk. I think here, though, I think these are your types of areas where you're looking to win it back, as Matt does.
He nearly did there.
You
twice,
can see they're starting to ramp up the pressure in certain areas.
Are you surprised we're not seeing more changes with 15 minutes remaining?
Yeah, I'm surprised, but the United guys will know their team. The United guys will know their team better than anyone, and it's just a case of what you want to bring off the bench. They've already brought Martial on. They may look at it and go, well, actually, it doesn't benefit them to bring subs on at this point.
El Yunusi finds Johnston. These are some of the most crucial minutes in Celtic season for sure. Just 30 minutes are all that stands from them and their first 3 points of the calendar season as Juan Mata plays it through towards Anthony Martial, in towards Danny Miller, and it's in towards Marcus Rashford. Another chance here, and it's an equalising goal. And just when we say Celtic were minutes away from the first 3 points, it's been snatched away again, Wes.
Whether you picked it up on the talk or not, I'm not too sure. But as that header goes back, I'm pretty sure I heard a United man say, perfect. So they knew what they wanted to do. The minute that ball came back to Juan Mata, they knew where they were going. It was this little slot here, and that's where they knew that ball was on. They played it into Martial, it went to Melo, went back to Martial. It was enough to disorientate the defence. And again, clinical, but again, it's the same type of scenario. It's Celtic going 1-0 up, and now they've got to go again.
Is it that they're not showing enough ambition, Harry?
Maybe.
Going 1-0 up and just sitting on it.
Maybe it's a mental state thing. Both sides, once they've scored, saying, you know what, let's calm down. But it's the same old story with Celtic, and at some point questions have to be asked about the mentality of these players and what can be done, whether or not it's a choking syndrome or whether or not it's a case of them just being really brutally unlucky here in the eFootball.Pro.
We're watching the scenes of the players now at the moment, everyone chipping in across the two teams. You are right, Wes, I didn't hear that perfect in the coming out of the players' microphones, but seeing the instant replay, you saw exactly what had happened, and that almost blocked pass from Juan Mata. It suddenly, as soon as it hit Anthony Martial, it completely opened up, and Dimani Mela was able to feed the goal scorer, and Anthony Martial, they're away again here, and this could really turn into a 1-2 sucker punch. It's in towards him again. It's Anthony Martial, and what a turnaround from Manchester United. They've dragged themselves out of the fits of despair to lead here against Celtic by 2-1. Incredible.
It's superb.
How does this keep happening to Celtic? Let's take nothing away from Manchester United. Let's dissect this a little bit more as the goal sinks in. We saw what it meant to the Manchester United players, but
Dimani Mela again.
But it's so brutally unlucky from a Celtic man. Once he's got his body in the right place, you're expecting that player to maybe do a little bit better, but Manchester United, they'll take it all day. It's an absolute rocket into the back of the net.
We see it time and time again, the power of momentum. Being 1-0 down, 15 minutes to go, grab the equaliser. All the impetus is then with the attacking team as they go in search of a late turnaround winner. And look at the passion and exuberance from Eldridge O'Neill championing the 3 at the moment, and now we're talking about what a stroke of genius it might have been to put the almighty DS in the first place. Maybe this was all part of the master plan. That's why he said perfect.
It just goes to show that, you know, talking points will change. At 1-0 down, we're talking, oh, is it the right idea to bring him in? Now all of a sudden we're looking at it going, well, Celtic's mentality, we're talking about their, you know, their mental state in this environment, and in this moment, I think it's almost like they're crumbling before our eyes.
Now, I look at this now, and I say this very, very carefully, and I don't say this often, but are we witnessing now a potential crisis for Celtic?
I mean, maybe. We spoke coming into this match against Manchester United. Yeah, fair enough. There's still time to play in the first match. There's still time for them to get a result out of this, but the games are running out in the eFootball.Pro. We are zipping through these match days. We're on match day 3 now. Match day 4 is coming up. And if Celtic end the day still on 1 point, it's getting to the point where you're wondering, where are these points going to come from?
There is no easy game, another cliche, but it is so true. And my hands are gesturing all over the show. You can't see it, but it's so entertaining to watch for us with none of the pressure, and I do feel for those guys over there.
Well, you talk about where points are coming from. Harry just interviewed their next opponents. It's AS Monaco next match day. That literally
could potentially be a write-off.
Yeah, and you're getting into the scenario where there isn't a last chance group as there was last season. It's the top 6, that's it. So these guys have really got to step this up and salvage a point here.
Now let's just calm down for a second, because they still have a chance to equalise, and they still have another 3 points to play for today. So if they can come away from today with 3 points or 4 points and finish on 4 or 5 for the season so far, they will be pretty happy. So let's not count our chickens just yet. We are just making it clear that they've got problems they need to solve, and this is a potential problem that they could solve with a risky free kick potentially, Wes.
Yeah, I mean, you could easily chance the shot. If you're chancing the shot here, you can, you know, again with manual goalkeeping, if you move the keeper across, you're going to leave it open. So, but it's a case of how much are you going to gamble. We saw with Bayern Munich where they had the deflected free kick against, I believe it's against Barcelona. You can see those moments where it's becoming a, you know, do you go for it or do you hold back?
So there we see the bus being parked again. Just Damani Miller up top.
Yeah, not entirely though. I like how they're keeping a couple of options open, just like Juve did in the game previous today.
Oh, it's a dummy shot, and it's going to be Edouard, and that pretty much sums up their afternoon.
I think that's just landed in my back garden.
Remaining 20 minutes of this game, and we're all sat here not quite sure what's just occurred, because that's certainly not up to the standard, the high standard that they've set in previous tournaments, as Anthony Martial now plays it out towards Damani Miller, who's been everything good about Manchester United today. One back, now it's with Anthony Martial, and deep into injury time now.
You could hear on the comms there, Eldridge just saying, keep the ball, keep the ball. Unfortunate there to play it out, give Celtic one last chance.
They have got that one last chance. Are we going to see one of the greatest bits of drama of the eFootball.Pro League? It's in toward Edouard. This is the moment. This is the biggest chance of Celtic's season so far, and they've snatched a point from the depths of despair. And this is why we love this competition. And look what it means to the players. It's stunning to watch.
And it's the birthday boy in Dominator, captain of Celtic FC, to rescue the points. Wow. Drama, drama, drama.
Apologies to everyone listening at home if your eardrums were broken by my shrill voice there, but such was the excitement. Wes, where did they manage to pluck that goal from?
It's defensive errors. You can see there, Maguire and Taylor both going to the ball. You can see them both going to the ball.
Is that tired legs or tired minds, or a bit of both?
It's tired minds.
Tired minds.
You know, you're going to both of you are going to the ball. You're leaving players open, and that's why there was the 2-on-1 that was left there for Celtic to take advantage of.
Look at that from Indominator, smacks the chest of the badge of Celtic FC, and it happened against them last game week. They've managed to do it to Manchester United in this game week, and can they now, as we said, go from potentially having no points from Matchday 3 to getting 4?
Well, look at where the goal was scored, 90+3. you cast your minds back to match day 2, the exact same thing happened to Celtic. So maybe they come out and they take an early goal, and it becomes a kind of a reverse of what happened to the match day 2.
It's a mindset switcher is what it is, and it might be, as you said, Adam, one of the most vital goals in Celtic FC's season. If we see them turn this really poor start around at the end of the season and they somehow finish in the top 6, remember match day 3, remember that goal from the Dominator, because if they're able to get a result here and again, as we said, turn it around, get into the playoffs, then I mean it would be one of the moments of the entire season.
You saw the sheer disdain from Eldridge O'Neill there, Wes. I mean, what's going through their heads right now? They've had done what happened to Celtic. They've had 3 points completely in the bag, probably on the balance of play. You'd have to say for 60 minutes at least, probably deserved it-ish in terms of chances. It's gone. Where do they go from now?
Well, they need to, as we said, they need to mentally reset. They need to go, right, that game's done and dusted. Now is a new set of players. It's a new game. You need to not take that kind of negativity and put it into your next game, because again, as we saw from Celtic previous match day, it feeds into the next game, you lose points then, and then you're losing ground on the rest of it. I think the reason for the frustration from Man United side of things is that they had 3 points. They're in that bunches of 7, or that bunch of 7, or players, teams that have 7 points. You had 3 points, that puts you up to 10. Then all of a sudden, then it looks a little bit easier, a little bit brighter to get back up there. Now it's 2 points dropped.
That's taken all the wind out of the sails of Manchester United. Not only did you see in the replay the frustration from Eldridge, also after full time, maybe 30 or 40 seconds had elapsed after the result was final, and you just heard a scream from him. He was so disappointed. He knew those 3 points were in the bag, and when you are in that cluster of teams vying for not only a top 6 spot, but potentially, you know, one of those top 2 spots to get that bye in the playoffs, then I mean, 3 points can be the difference maker.
We talked about Celtic being in potentially a bit of a rot, a bit of a hard place. Manchester United now, if they come off this next game with a loss, after a pretty bright start to the competition, they are in danger of stagnating.
Yeah, I think it's only fair that we ask that same question about them. I mean, we wouldn't be doing due diligence to not only Celtic, but you know, every other team in the league if we're not asking that question about Manchester United, considering where they are in the league.
El Yunusi challenged one back by Roderick, and it's Celtic that come forward again. An early goal here for Celtic could be on the cards. It's Bayo, tipped out by the goalkeeper, and anyone there to turn it home, and it's 1-0, but there was no one there.
No, last-ditch defending by Manchester United. They'll take it, though. Good early signs for Celtic. That, again, that goal could be the catalyst. That last-minute equaliser really could be the catalyst here for them turning their fortunes around.
Makes, Harry, eh?
Exactly.
That old chestnut again.
What?
I mean, that nicking that point, that could be a defining moment for their season. That could be, we could look back on this in 4 or 5 match days time and go, that was the time where they really turned it around.
Yeah.
You know, it could be that crucial.
Well,
however,
it's Damani Mella, and just like that, in the blink of an eye, everyone is silenced, and it looks like it's Cams who's got the goal. A sweetly struck left foot high into the top left-hand corner. Goalkeeper, let's be honest, had absolutely no chance, and we were talking all positive for Celtic, and it's been snatched back to 1-1.
Yeah,
so
still
it's so difficult.
Glaring problems you'll see here from the Celtic defence. It's parting like the Red Sea. The first man, first of all, should never win that header in the first place, but the fact he's able to knock it down to someone in the box, in a goal-scoring opportunity, I mean, it's really frustrating. Very, very fundamental defending mistakes from Celtic. It's really what cost them that goal.
The sort of left foot we've seen not unakin to the late Robin van Persie in terms of late of being Manchester United player, of course. A lovely left foot strike there from Damani Mella. Wes, what happens now in terms of, do they just both keep going the same, or is there a switch now?
I think you'll see the pressure go back onto Celtic, and it's
a mistake. Almost fell to Marcus Rashford. Sorry to cut you off, Wes.
It's ebb and flow. It's ebb and flow at the moment. At one point we're saying that it's Celtic that are under pressure. The next, you know, something else happens in the game, and all of a sudden it's United under pressure. I think, there's a bad touch there from McTominay, but they got lucky again.
There's a lot of mistakes starting to creep in from both sides. You can see what it means to these players. It's Forest. It's 2-1 Celtic. They're back in front.
And it's the other birthday boy, Indajawa, to equalise for Celtic. Game on, great goal.
You are right, it's an equalising goal, because I was so wrapped up in that last-minute equaliser in the last game, it felt like that was part of this game. Of course, we've had so many games so far today, but it is exactly what Celtic wanted, the response, and really good for their mental state, isn't it?
Yeah, just first of all, the run from Indajawa, promising, so promising. If they can continue to do that for the rest of this game, it's going to lead to many more opportunities just like that, because the run came early. He already knew what the player on the ball was going to try and do, and you can already hear here on the team communication, Horcha saying, perfect, that's what we want.
It's another chance here, Celtic flying at the moment. Bayo, he's broken away from Harry Maguire, has he? No, just did enough to get back. Really strong defending.
As much as physicality is key here, if you get a pace mismatch, as we had with that goal, where it was Forrest versus Maguire, you can sometimes actually nip in front of them, take the ball away, and as we saw there, popped it away for 1-1.
In towards the near post, so that's food and drink for the Spaniard, David De Gea. Of course, we are live from Barcelona here in this wonderful studio for the eFootball.Pro Season 2. Johnston out towards the right-hand side. Worth noting, guys, the level of clubs this year across the board is really stellar, isn't it?
It really is. Not only the level of clubs, the level of players that these clubs have been able to acquire and bring into the eFootball.Pro has really elevated this competition to give us these exciting games.
And if you're not used to the terminologies, of course, eFootball.Pro is for the professional eFootball PES players, as the ball gets straight in towards Forster. If you are watching and want to get involved, your best route right now is, of course, to play in the eFootball Open competition, which is open to everyone, as Marcus Rashford's left foot shot comes back off the underside of the crossbar, but it looks like the referee's brought it to a halt because it's going to be a free kick.
That's such a crazy, and if I'm Manchester United, I'm feeling hard done by the fact the referee's brought this back, because it came off the crossbar and there's a United man waiting.
Real frustration, but it might not matter. It does not matter, because it's Marcus Rashford and they're back in front.
Well, I suppose you could say that's karma, and the balance has been restored. Manchester United with their second goal, and it was another rocket, second or third rocket we've seen so far today.
We've got a pick of goal of the day, haven't we?
We really do. See it here again. It's just short passing in and around the penalty area, and realistically, you're wanting Celtic players to maybe push the ball a little bit more and, you know, trying to harry and hurry the player on the ball, but they just haven't done that, and now they've conceded.
But it just seemed like Celtic fell asleep at that set piece. They weren't alive to a short pass.
They relaxed, didn't they, when they realised that it got brought back.
Yeah, and then it was like they just weren't alive to it. And, you know, and of all the talk before the game and obviously during the game of Almighty DS being selected, it's Almighty DS that gives United the lead.
Taylor cleared up downfield towards Nemanja Matic, and then Damani Mella pulling all the strings at the pinnacle of that front line as Scott McTominay now brings it forwards. One back though, and a chance for Roderick to turn possession over for Celtic. Now Johnson comes down the left-hand side in towards Bayo. El Yunusi now forward towards Forrest. Oh, almost spins away, does spin away. Oh, it just ricocheted into David De Gea's arms. Another chance, Harry.
Yeah, maybe
half chance.
Hoping for a better ricochet there from Forrest. Just couldn't quite land close enough to him, and De Gea will gobble that one up. But confirmation there of the first goal of the eFootball.Pro, his debut, rewarded with a goal here, the almighty DS, three-time Dutch champion.
Not a bad goal to get it as well, to go off the mark.
Absolute rocket.
Pogba finds Mason Greenwood. Now Marcus Rashford, good challenge, strong challenge, and a chance for Celtic to counter. We're at the same stage as we were in the first game. Celtic trail by 2-1, and they would have lost that game bar a 93rd minute equaliser. The challenge comes in from Lindelof. It looked a risky one. The referee says it was a fair one. It comes smashing back. Well, that's going to sting in the morning off the cheek of the Celtic man, and it will be a free kick for Taylor. Is it going to stay like this, Harry?
I don't think so. I think we're seeing a bit more of a rejuvenated Celtic. They believe now after equalising late on, they might have felt if the score stayed the same at the end of the first game as it did last week, that they would have been hard done by.
They're playing with more purpose, they're playing with more speed, they've got the equalising goal, and that's why Harry's here. He knows about this game. A stunning goal, and it's, you'd have to say, deserved. It was brilliant one-touch pinpoint football, and it's Celtic 2, Manchester United 2.
And it's that man on your screen, the Spaniard, Porcha, coming in and levelling things up for Celtic. They certainly seem to be playing with more poise and purpose and, dare I say, belief after that result in the first game here against United.
Wes, good attacking, poor defending, bit of both?
Just good attacking. Their choices of passes were brilliant there. You can see they're utilising quickness, and it kind of, again, it disorientates your defence. If you're playing co-op and you're having quick passes, you've got player selections that are then quickly changed. You can see there, Blue was just moving quite quickly. It's a case that you have to be responsive, and Celtic were very, very responsive to score there.
I know it's very easy to make snap judgments from here about what's happening in the actual games, but it certainly seems, from my point of view, that the confidence that's being bred through the Celtic team due to that last-minute goal, they're playing with such a quicker pace, something that we weren't seeing prior to that goal.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Definitely. Sorry to cut you off there, Harry, but I think yes. I think there is more confidence as we see Celtic are actually able to shepherd it away.
So we are just seconds away from the end of the first half here between Celtic and Manchester United. Oh, it's a mistake. It's Marcus Rashford to put them 3-2 up. And that was another more than half chance that goes begging. And it comes from another mistake. 2-2.
2-2 into the half. I think that's fair. I mean, United, they've been good for their goals, but it comes back to that difference in the way that Celtic are playing, the way that they're building up attacks, the way they're working together in midfield. It's so much different from the first two match days. I mean, you can see they seem to be clicking. They're on the same page and a bit more patient. That's a mistake, though.
Mason Greenwood challenged by Julian, but it comes back towards Marcus Rashford, who's been effervescing down this left-hand side. Bit of science for you there as Roderick comes across to block the set piece, get the Bunsen burners out, because this stadium is being lit up. Oh, that was poor. Crossed into, I apologise. It's in towards Harry Maguire. It drops towards Nemanja Matic and saved by Forster. And almost another chance for a goal there, Harry.
Yeah, we're talking so much about Celtic's renewed belief, but we can't count United out on this game just yet. They are such an attacking force and are clinical when they get those chances.
In towards Mason Greenwood. It is another chance for them. Great challenge in the end, you'd have to say. But that left foot from the youngster looked destined for that bottom right-hand corner. 52 minutes gone, and now it's Celtic who are on the ropes. Finely balanced, 2-2. Both sides have been knocked down so far today. They're both back on their feet. Who is going to get the final knockout blow?
That is the question. And again, it seems to be almost every single time that Celtic find themselves in a game where they've conceded 1 or 2 goals. You're just expecting them to maybe calm down a little bit and just try and play with a bit more poise and purpose.
One thing, Wes, that you'd have to say, oh, it's a mistake from Bayer, he's in, it's another goal, and it's Celtic again, and they've turned the game on its head, they're back in front, it's Celtic 3, Manchester United 2, and this is turning into an absolute barn burner.
Oh yes, 5 goals, and it's a second goal for the man in the middle of your screen, Imda Jawa, birthday boy, alongside twin brother in Dominator, and they give Celtic the lead. It's a really well-worked goal here, Wes, but more importantly, it's a goal that gives Celtic the lead.
So, Wes, the goal, sorry to cut you off, I was just going to say, Wes, you've got 1-0 to Manchester United, 1-1, 2-1 to Manchester United, 2-2, 3-2 to Celtic. You've got to praise both sides' mentality to constantly come back from adversity.
Yeah, and it is to be commended. Yeah, we sat there and spoke all about Celtic and all about their physical, their kind of mental side of things, but you can see just how much it means to them to get themselves back into the game.
Half an hour remaining. It's out towards the right-hand side. Now, am I missing something, or is it 2-2?
It is 2-2.
Okay, it definitely went to 3-2.
No, it's 3-2, yeah.
No, we're just waiting for the
Wait for the
graphic to update.
So in towards Damani Mella, now finds Marcus Rashford, right foot shot, chance to equalise behind for a corner. So just to clarify, it is Celtic 3, Manchester United 2, even though you are seeing 2-2 on the screen right now. That goal coming in, as Harry said, from Indajawa, the birthday boy, has given Celtic potentially 4 points from matchday 3, and that would be a huge turnaround.
Yeah, and it completely changes the dynamic of the league. It completely changes the dynamic of Celtic.
Bayo, challenged by Marcus Rashford. Manchester United turning the screw. It's certainly going to be waves and waves of Red Devil pressure in the remaining half an hour as Bitten fires forwards on a caution as well. There's a lot of yellow cards that have been picked up, and certainly don't want to lose a player at this late stage.
What is he doing here?
What is he doing? Words of one of the players there for Marcus Rojo. They're not happy with certain aspects of the Manchester United defence, and I can see why, conceding 3 goals, which at least 1 or 2 of them could have been avoided.
Wonder if we'll see maybe a personnel change or at least a tactics change there from United. Clearly quite frustrated in their communication.
One thing I've noticed is that the ball comes across towards Paul Pogba. That is high wide, not so handsome. Not a good shot at all from Paul Pogba. One thing I've noticed is Damani Mella's now moved out towards the right-hand side, and he was certainly the focal point, like Slimani was in the AS Monaco game. Any reasons for that, Wes?
Not really, unless it's more of a use of Rashford's pace.
Middle, yeah.
So I think looking here, I wouldn't be surprised if they bring on Martial. I wouldn't be surprised if they are making similar switches to the switches they made previously. Matter's now coming on. Martial's now moved to the middle. Rashford's moved out wide.
Lingard's come on as well.
So they're trying to refresh their attacking their attacking moves, really.
So the dying embers of the second match between Celtic FC and Manchester United. Paul Pogba off, makes way for the Spaniard Juan Mata, as does Scott McTominay and Greenwood as well, with Anthony Martial now coming on. So we've got the triple substitution. These can either turn from poor decisions into master strokes from the managers, as Edouard's in down the right-hand side. Support from Christie, back towards Forest. Good possession here from Celtic, but they know themselves that they cannot dwell on this 3-2, because they will leave themselves open to a late equaliser, as has happened to them and for them already in the competition, Harry.
Yeah, they should know by now this 1-goal margin is so dangerous, but it comes back to the pre-game. We were talking about which of these 2 teams need the points more and who would be the hungrier of the 2 squads. Right now, I think it's Celtic. I changed my mind. I thought it might have been Manchester United, but Celtic have proven me wrong for now, at least.
It's a chance here for Manchester United to grab the equalising goal. He's still going in towards Rashford. Should he have gone himself, Wes?
Yeah, the option was there.
It was open.
He had room. In Celtic's mind, they were looking for the pass anyway.
It was too easily predicted, wasn't it?
It's too easy. It's too easy to read. If you've got to do something that is going to be different, especially in these moments in the game, you have to do something that is unexpected to give yourself half a chance.
It was team captain and dominator as well, cutting out the vital ball that would have been maybe a dagger through the hearts of Celtic fans worldwide.
So time running out for Manchester United, and what's happening in this game potentially is what happened to Celtic in match day 2. A late equalising goal for the opposition caused them to implode in the second game, to the point where they finished the match day with 1 point, and that might just happen here for Manchester United. They've got 6 minutes to make sure that doesn't happen.
You can hear how frustrated Manchester United are. They want rewards for their press. You can see the amount of players there going to greet the ball early, but what that's doing is just leaving so much space open, and there were 2 options on there, but they've still got this ball.
It's a mistake from Forest. Oh, it's hacked down by Harry Maguire. The referee will go to his pocket, shouts for the red card. All eyes on the referee. What is the decision he's made? It's only a caution, much to the frustration of the Celtic fans, but importantly, they have possession right in the perfect position. Are they going to allow it to slip? It's a mistake. They've given it away. They've won it back. They don't want to concede another late equalising goal. The real drama inside the stadium as it's played out towards the left-hand side. Just 2 minutes of added on time here for Celtic to hang on, to take 4 points, a crucial 4 points from Matchday 3. Still going down, frustrated challenge, and surely now that's over the line for Celtic.
And you have to remember that goal in the first game scored by captain and dominator. We said it might be a turning point in their season. They've got 3 points here.
We talk about momentum in one game of eFootball PES. We talk about momentum over the course of 2 games, and that goal that we said was potentially the most important goal of Celtic's season might just be that. Look what it means to those 2 players, those 3 players, should I say, on your screen. The real passion, because Wes, that was so important, and they've got off the mark with their first 3 points of the season, and importantly, they've got 4 from today when it looked like they may end with nothing.
It's an outpouring of relief. I think it's the pressure that they were under, the circumstances of the game. There was so much riding on that, and I think Celtic won't underplay that in the post-match interview either. There was a lot riding on that, and like we said, 4 points out of 6 to come away with today. They'd be very happy with that, and it kind of puts them back in the mix to get into that top 6.
I'm just watching the guys off the screen. And just to let you know, guys at home, guys and gals, the fist pumps that are going around there, Yorker pretty much jumped off the stage and punched the air there. It means so much to them, and it's such a tremendous performance to get off the mark with that 3 points. But 4 points from today puts them on 5 for the season so far, and a much, you'd have to say, Harry, sorry, not Harry, Harry's on stage, Wes, you'd have to say, it's deserved, really, on the scheme of things, due to that mentality of it.
Yeah, I mean, and to show that, I mean, they showcased it in absolute droves. The ability to bring themselves back from, you know, it was 2-1.